Adventures of Huckleberry Finn 9. Well, I don't have anything very specific to say, like a chapter or anything in this section, but I think it's a question. I don't know if I have an answer for that. By now, probably you are already in chapter 6 or 7, right? You will have get at least a little bit used to this misspelling, you know? Not only the characters in Huckleberry Finn, but also the narrator, because the narrator is one of the characters. Remember, this book is told in first person, okay? Not only the characters, but even the narrators, the narrator commit a lot of mistakes. And then the author, Mark Twain, decides to register those mistakes there. Keep in mind that brings extra trouble for us, because sometimes we don't know what is going on. Okay, and even if we do, let's imagine we are a native and things come much easier for us. My question for you, this is actually a question video, because as I said, I don't know if I have the answer. My question is, do you think it helps? Do you think it's essential? Do you think it's not necessary? Or do you think it bothers the reading when you represent things like that? You know, think about... let's imagine I'm going to write a story about a guy from Rio de Janeiro. And then I say, Vinash, and every time my character says, some word with that sound, I, represent with an SH or CH, right? So every word would be changed like that. So you will keep in mind that that character is speaking like that. Other characters, even if they're talking about simpletons, like simple people who live in the countryside, like a redneck or a caipira here in Brazil, even though we're talking about those guys, we kind of adapt that language production to standard Portuguese. So it's a guy who lives in a farm, and he has never been to school, but when we read his sentences, everything is in the correct grammar and etc. Let's go a little bit deeper in the question. Look, if I just keep the simple way of people talking, I won't be able to tap into more complex language that, of course, is more expressive, right? Or at least has the possibility of being more expressive in many occasions, much more than we wish it happened. A very formal language is less expressive than everyday language. Like when you read an article, academic article, and then you have all kinds of references and all kinds of beautiful constructions and words, but first you see that the person who wrote the article doesn't really believe, the person just masters the technical part, and in the end there is nothing there, there's nothing attached, there's just surface, But that's not the point. The point is, when I use everything I have learned, for example, I'm a writer, let's imagine, I've spent my whole life learning different ways of expressions. When I don't adapt my language according to my characters, mainly in a case like this where you have the first person, my ways of expression will be, very high. When I adapt, when I say, no, I cannot use a construction or a language like that, because a guy like this would never use something of the kind, then I have to limit all that power of expressiveness I have. So my question for you, I would like you to think about that, okay? If it helps a lot, if it helps a lot because it's realistic, if it's not necessary, if it bothers the flowing of the text, it's better to keep standard English. And just remember that those guys in real life would speak differently. So what do you think?